Linux has always been associated with freedom. You download it, you install it, and you use it without thinking about any payment at all. That is part of what makes Linux so appealing, especially from people coming from Windows. So when I discovered a distro that charges you money just to download the ISO, it kind of caught my eye and my attention immediately. So it all started when XeroLinux came into my channel's live stream and became a member very quickly, and that was great. Then found out that XeroLinux actually is a distro as well, so I started to look into that, but I very quickly discovered that it charges money just to download the ISO. That kind of caught my attention immediately. Basically, XeroLinux is an Arch based distribution. I'm not going to lie, it's one of the best looking KDE desktops I've seen. Unlike almost every other distro, the official ISO is behind a paywall. Now, you can still use it for free. The script is public, the code is open. There is nothing proprietary about the operating system itself. The payment is for the ISO. It's for the convenience and basically the prepared starting point. Now, at first I did not pay. I worked out how to use the script to install it, and I just wanted to see what the real experience was like. Now, running the script felt very familiar. It installed the packages, configured the system, and prepared the desktop. There is always a moment of uncertainty when you hit that reboot button for the first time. You don't know if everything will come together properly. And when it did boot in, I immediately saw the difference. The desktop looked very polished. Not just a theme, but it kind of felt thoughtfully put together. The layout made sense, even though it was upside down for me. The visual consistency was there. It did not feel like the default KDE installed at all with a theme applied on top. It kind of felt like it was a complete environment that had been designed as a whole, and that kind of stood out to me. And after using it for a little while, I chose to support XeroLinux. And it wasn't because I needed to do it, it was because I wanted to support the project. I spoke to him at length on a Discord call and started to really understand what it was he was trying to achieve. And really, that helped me understand what the paid ISO actually represents. It's not about restricting access. Anyone can still install it for free. The payment exists for the prepared ISO version, the version where everything is already put together. And after speaking to XeroLinux, it kind of changed how I saw it. It stopped feeling like a paywall and started to feel like a way to support the person maintaining it. Now, XeroLinux is maintained by one developer, and that does introduce a different kind of risk. When you rely on a distro backed by a company or even a large team, there is a structure behind it. There is continuity even if individual developers move on. With a project that's maintained by one person, everything depends on that person continuing the work. And that is something that every user needs to be aware of, regardless of whether it's XeroLinux or any other distribution. Using independent distributions often requires a bit more awareness and flexibility. You need to be comfortable with the possibility that you may have to move on to something else in the future. At the same time, it's these independent projects are often the ones where the most interesting ideas come from. So paying for the ISO did not unlock any features. In fact, it felt more like a donation. The free and paid paths lead to the same operating system. What it changes is the role of the payment itself. It's not about buying Linux. In fact, it's really about supporting the prepared version and the work behind it. The freedom to install it without paying is still there. And in my case, I chose to pay it because I understood what I was supporting. Not everyone will agree with that, and that's completely fine. Linux gives you the choice, and that's what makes the real difference. So what do you think? Should distros like this charge for the ISO if it helps sustain the project? Is it something that you have done or would do? Let me know in the comments, or if not, just pop an emoji in there for the sake of engagement. Thank you so much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.